Hey everybody! Welcome back to more Greatest Attorney Chronicles. Last we left off, we just finished Case 2. And Marvel Poison made some really good art of me! Yeah, so if you happen to notice, I'm using actually a cover page for these streams for once, and I decided that Marvel Poison did a great rendition of me in response to the TFS gaming video. And I thought that was too good to not share. Anyway, let's keep going. We are now on episode 3, The Return of the Departed Soul. Also see him, so thank you for the resub.
The grand end of the century great exhibition of London. Surely there is not a soul who has failed to hear of it. Wondrous new works of culture and industry from every corner of the globe had converged on Hyde Park, welcoming over 50 million visitors. The last great hurrah of this century. Astonished and delighted people of all nations, and ended on a note of resounding success. But as regards to the terrible catastrophe that occurred during the festivities, very few are aware my friend Mr. Herlock Sholmes had a hand in unraveling the matter. For from the shadows, it was he who earnestly unearthed the facts of the case. And like the centerpiece of the great exhibition, which rose high into the skies of Hyde Park, Sholmes's brilliant deductions, as clear and lofty as the Crystal Tower itself, brought the truth to light.
We're here at the showground of the Great Exhibition, which is absolutely packed with people.
Oh, I have to actually click something now.
The weather is unusually fine, and we're about to witness a most extraordinary scientific experiment.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 20th century will see steam engines and electrical power dominate the world. Horse-drawn carts will give way to the motor car. Ships will sprout wings and take to the skies. And today, we showcase even more advanced technology. A glimpse into the future. A world first. A demonstration of my super high voltage instantaneous kinesis machine.
What? What?
A man will literally be disassembled by a pulse of high voltage electricity and beamed to another location.
Not it.
Whereupon his body will be reassembled by a series of complex calculations exactly as it was before. In but a few moments from now, this gentleman will, in the blink of an eye, complete an incredible journey through the air.
We're getting all prestige in here.
On the Crystal Tower behind you! Yes, 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 yes!
Look at the guy's head. It's just like a carnival machine. Well, surely nothing went wrong then. Wait, come on. Runa, are you listening? Oh, sorry. What was that, Iris? What's the matter with you? You've been miles away all morning. Didn't you like what I cooked for breakfast? No, that's not it at all. What were we talking about again? Today's paper! It's full of news about the Great Exhibition again! Ah yes, the Great Exhibition. I'd like to go sometime. You're really not your usual self today. You seem very down. Don't you agree, Early? Jackets off, jackets off, jackets off. Did you say something, Iris? Oh gosh, you're even more down! Hold on, need to keep in mind thumbnail pics. Right! When you arrive, Mr. Naruhodo? I've been here for about half an hour already. We had breakfast together. What? Why didn't you mention it before? I, thought you might have known I was here. You know, because... breakfast? Ours is quite right. You're clearly lacking in vim. So much so that I didn't notice your presence. Thanks. Of course, I could deduce the person perfect. I could deduce the oh god. Off to a great start. I could deduce the reason perfectly well with some simple observations. What? Let's see. Yes, for example, your tousled hair this morning with all its unruly spikes. Clearly can be deduced, therefore, that... let me stop you there, Mr. Shulmans, because I think I can see where this is going. My hair always looks like this. It always has. Ever since we first met, in fact. Oh, really? How interesting! It just doesn't look like a haircut as such, I suppose. Thanks again. It crossed my mind recently that it's been 6 months now since I started squatting in your attic. Which means it's mine now. 6 months?! Since I was forbidden from working in court. So I've been wondering how much longer I'm going to be banned. Oh well, that would explain why you seem rather glum. Don't you agree, Early? Did you say something, Iris? Back to moping. What's the matter with Mr. Sholmes today? He seems even more down in the dumps than me. I know! And the Great Exhibition is open! Do you think he'd be excited? Oh, why don't we all go see it together? I want to, of course I do, but I can't. Not for the time being. Why not? Why not? Why not? Because I'm a great detective, after all! So you're embroiled in some tricky case that you can't be distracted from? Is that it? I don't remember hearing that you're working on a case, Hurley! I suppose I should try to find out what's going on. I can't move. What can I present? Ugh, that damn armband. I don't feel like it... Hold on. It all very much looks the same. Alright, Sherlock, what is it? Herlock. Yeah, so about 6 months ago... Like, we haven't been flashbacking enough. Half a year ago now, I took on the defense of a young girl in a trial heard at the Old Bailey. What at first seemed like a simple case of murder that took place at the London Pawnbrokery turned out to be one part of a much more far-reaching plot that involved the British government. During the course of the trial, it was found that I made an unavoidable, yet at the same time, unforgivable mistake. Words fail me. The situation is utterly deplorable. Mr. Naruhodo! Yes, my lord? I will decide upon your fate following the conclusion of this trial. For defending a rich Irishman! In the end, I had my right to represent people in court revoked. I was told I had to spend my time in research and study, so that's what I've been doing. You have, haven't you, Runo? Reading all those big fat tomes about British law up in your room, and the notes about Sholmes' old cases. Brewing Irish special blends of tea, fetching my daily bread for me. You've become something of a manservant around here. Start on the silverware next, Master Naruhodo. Well, I think I'm going to ask the powers that be to reconsider. Specifically, Lord Strongheart at the British Supreme Court in Whitehall. Lord Strongheart? Ah, the delightful Lord Chief Justice. Not my favorite fellow. He's not mine either, but he's the man I have to talk to. He's the only one who can grant permission for me to start working in courts again. I came to Britain to become the best lawyer I could. I can't do that just sitting around here. Alright, so anyway, this great exhibition. The whole of London has been swept up in the exposition. I'd say it as a joke, and then I just go ahead and say it for reals. The whole of London has been swept. I shouldn't have had that evening sherry before streaming. That was clearly my mistake. The whole of London has been swept up in this great exposition. Oh my gosh. Exhibition. I'm so drunk. One more time. From the top. And if I fuck it up, we're just moving on. The whole of London has been swept up in this great exhibition, hasn't it? Hey! The most advanced science, the most modern technology, and the finest works of art and feats of engineering. For the next 6 months, our capital will be showcasing these things, and the world will be watching! Oh, do you know what I'd like to do? I'd like to look down on London from one of those lovely balloons. Look down on? Do you read those things? Fly? Not if I shoot them down first. Yes, of course. They fly high in the sky and don't even need wings to do it. All you need is hot air. But how? How does hot air have anything to do with flying? It makes no sense. I can't understand it at all. One on the long list of things Ryunosuke does not get. Insert balloons. That's true of a lot of new scientific discoveries. Most people can't understand them at first. But in 100 years' time, all these things will just be common knowledge. I suppose they might be. Mind you, some of the science being demonstrated seems very questionable. I saw a whole exhibit on death rays and I'm just up in arms. Something went wrong on the open experimentation stage yesterday. Apparently there was a huge explosion. We didn't even get to see it. I'm disappointed. Still, I wish I'd seen it, though. I'd love to see how bad some of these scam experiments really are. I want to see if I can catch someone's head. This is the innocent 10-year-old girl. See here, every page of this paper carries some article or other about the Great Exhibition. But the brighter things shine, the darker the shadows that are cast behind them. Personally, I find myself drawn to the darkness. To be impenetrable. That is my proper atmosphere. Yay. Shadows cast behind... Is that a metaphorical way of referring to the back page of the paper? Fine, I'll look. Twist my arm, you cute guy. Hey, wait a minute. I want to look at this first. But there's a lost cat we'll need to check in on. Every article on the front page is news about the Great Exhibition. I just said that! Public experiments to demonstrate brand new scientific ideas, culture exhibits from around the globe. It's also positive and hopeful about the coming century. Ha! 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 Foreshadowing. We must all go to see it properly before too long. Is Wagahai missing again? We need to find him! So many glowing reports about the Great Exhibition and everything that's going on there. Other than this rather gloomy looking one, that is. Wait. What? What's the matter, Runo? The Reaper attacked. That's Lord Van Sykes! This must be what Mr. Sholmes was talking about. Does he know any more, I wonder? I'm just imagining Van Sykes in a bed. I lived, bitch. Shit, I can't even get the accent right. Yes, look at me, I'm in this coffin. What was you saying? So, ignoring your gloomy mood because I don't care, this Reaper, hey. It says in the paper that Lord Van Sykes was attacked. That's terrible. You know the legend of the Reaper of the Bailey, of course, don't you? Only too well, in fact. Yes. Prosecutor Barak Van Sykes. Yada yada yada. If he has you in the dock, he's gonna kill you. Oh, but his theme's playing. Dance break. Oh, was he like in a top hat? Damn dapper looking vampire. I enjoy watching people burn. London's finest rogues always find ways around the law. They'll stop at nothing to secure an acquittal at trial. Falsifying evidence, paying sham witnesses, threatening jurors, bribing judges. Even Santa Claus is known to take a toy or two off the list. But even such devious tactics as these cannot save them from the hand of the Reaper. As you've experienced yourself, haven't you, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, one time out of the 3 people I got acquitted. Yes, I've seen the Reaper's retribution at work. Oh god, here we go again. I've seen the Reaper's retribution at work. Many of these criminal rogues are reckless and quite unafraid to die. If a leader among their fraternity is seen to have been taken by the Reaper, retaliation like this does occur. Really, the capital has a never-ending supply of such scoundrels. So, do you mean Lord Van Sykes has been attacked like this before? This isn't the first time? He's quite an accomplished combatant, you know. That's why they let him take his sword into court. He doesn't take these attacks lying down. Although, it seems his assailants were armed with guns this time. Big difference. Silver bullets! Alright, hold on. I want to see him on the top hat. I'm getting close. Hold on. Come on. Let me look at the picture, damn it! Okay, well, big help there. Never mind. Oh my goodness, is he alright then? Is Lord Van Sykes hurt? My dear fellow, how on earth would I know?
Well, in the article here it says, as to what of Lord Van Sykes and his condition, all will be revealed in tomorrow's morning edition. Damn scalpers! Ah, I see.
Well, we shall have to be patient then.
No, I can't wait until tomorrow.
In that case, you shall have to inquire with somebody in the know.
But who? Lord Strongheart, perhaps?
Alright. Since I can't move forward, 2 steps back.
Are you investigating a particularly tricky case at the moment, Mr. Sholmes?
You could say that, I suppose.
Nothing more to add? That's not like you. What sort of case is it? Shh!
Quiet, Mr. Naruto! We must not discuss it here. You never know who might be listening.
You're acting very strangely, Hurley.
What do you mean, Iris?
Well, usually, the more mysterious and complicated a case is, the better Hurley's mood.
Sorry, I had a yawn. Ah!
Is it really a case that's bothering you?
Iris, please! You mustn't exercise your astute powers of observation and deduction on me without invitation! Remember what I always say, put yourself in the shoes of the individual about whom you're making deductions! You say that, do you? You, Mr. Sholmes. Never mind. Once I've had a cup of tea, I must make my way at once to the crime scene. That was a deep sigh. Jackets on. Well, I must be leaving now. Yes, understood. See you later, Mr. Sholmes. Ha! You really are a shameless liar sometimes, my dear fellow. What? You seek to put me off my guard and follow me, don't you? Well, you would be wasting your time. That thought hadn't crossed my mind. But now I'm wondering where you're going. Well then, see you later indeed. Peace. Listen to him. He's still laughing on his way out the door. Whoa. That doesn't look right. Honestly, it feels like Disney's about to bust down the door. This is not approved merchandise.
Alright, Runo, let's get going!
Oh, Iris, what are you wearing?
I've got change to go to the credit exhibition. You're going to take me.
What? But I was just about to go to the Supreme Court.
Oh, well that sounds fun too. You're going to take me there then.
Alright, fine. Just lower the weapon, will ya?
Of course! And after the Supreme Court, then we'll go to see the great exhibition.
Alright, let's get the hell out of this place. I better not have to go to my consultancy. Get these damn birds out of my office! It's been about 6 months now since I was last here. But some things never change, like the sense of foreboding I always seem to feel in this place. Iris, that can't be comfortable. That tile is horrifically misshapen. It doesn't seem to be bothering Iris at all, though. She's happily reading over there.
Oh, I love this place. I always find so many interesting books here.
Of course. I was forgetting that you've been here before. The time we came here 6 months ago. when Sasada-san was given the news that she was to return to Japan. Oh man, it's been a while since I've done Strongheart's voice. Hold on, gotta kick myself in the teeth a couple of times. Ah, I understand you wish to speak with me. Oh, Lord Strongheart. I trust you've been keeping well? Let's see. Since you arrived and requested an audience, it's been 4 hours, 32 minutes, and 26 seconds. I've kept you waiting a while. My apologies. Oh no, not at all. It's nothing. It's like nothing more than standing around and staring into space. I like nothing more than doing that. Good to know. Good to know that doesn't appear to bother him at all. Nail Strongheart, Lord Chief Justice of London. He's the man who allowed me to start practicing as a defense lawyer when I arrived in Britain as a student. Need only savor the air for a moment in this grand office to understand his preeminent status. As you are aware, the Great Exhibition of London is now underway at last. We're extremely busy as a result, policing the grounds, guarding the new technologies, dealing with petty crime. And furthermore, as of next month, we shall open the International Forensic Science Symposium. Oh, I've not heard about that. Investigating authorities from 40 countries around the globe will be taking part, including your own land. Forensic science is the future. The world must embrace it. As we're the hosting nation, I have much to do, and it is my highest priority. If others must wait for my attention as a result, so be it. Well, it's nice to know where I stand. So, you wish to consult with me? Of course, I can very well imagine what this is about. Thank you for agreeing to this meeting, my lord. I want to be allowed to start working as a defense lawyer again in court. That's what brought me here today. Actually, there's something else playing on my mind, as it happens.
Bruno, just take a deep breath and come out with it! Bye!
What happens if I show you today's paper? Oh, that reminds me. Have you seen this? The reports of the overwhelming success of the Great Exhibition, of course. No, not that. The story on the back page. What story? The Reaper attacked? Ah, that. You've enjoyed some victories at court against my #1 prosecutor, have you not?
Poor Mr. Reaper! What happened to him? He wasn't killed, was he?
There's no need for concern. Lord Van Zykes would not be so easily dispatched, I assure you. Can you tell us what happened? I'd really love to know. Very well, if it interests you. It does, strangely. Okay, I guess he won't be telling us after all. I actually came here to get... I actually came here today to ask for your permission. Go on. 6 months ago, my right to work in court as a lawyer was revoked, and I was told to spend my time studying. Obviously, I'm very sorry for what happened, but the thing is, it made me understand what it really means to defend somebody under the rules of a foreign justice system. And I desperately want to have another go. Please, permit me to enter the courtroom again. Mr. Naruhodo. Yes? Oh, here it comes. I'm sure you haven't forgotten your position here, have you? At best, you are a substitute for your compatriot. This was never your intended role. Well, that's true. The Japanese government actually sent my best friend on the study tour, not me. It should have been Kazuma. As we've said so many times in this game already. He was so determined to bring change to our own justice system at home. That was his calling. If that tragic accident hadn't happened, I wouldn't be here in this office now. Mr. Asogi was my best friend, you see. That's why I can't leave it unfinished. I have to fulfill his calling for him. His calling, you say? Has it never occurred to you that perhaps you know nothing of his true calling? Sorry? The mission with which that young law student was charged, what do you suppose it really was? What do you mean? Mission? He's not making any sense. Never mind. I've read all the reports you've submitted over the past 6 months. It's clear to me that you regret your actions and have been studiously obeying your revised instructions. Do you mean... As of this moment, I reinstate your license to practice law here in Great Britain. Thank you. Thank you so much. That's wonderful news, that's wonderful news, Runo. I almost said that's wonderful ruse, Nuno. In fact, I believe I have the perfect case to mark your comeback, a curious affair. You'll consider it, I hope? Of course, please tell me more. You described it as a curious affair? Yes, that's right. I believe it was reported in the press. Are you aware that there was a serious accident at the Great Exhibition yesterday? Oh, no. Yes, I read about it. A professor from Germany tried to carry out a crazy experiment. Let me see, how was it described? Super high voltage instantaneous kinesis, I think. Instantaneous kinesis? As in moving things with a click of the fingers? That's right, it's just what my herbal blends need, a dash of devil-may-care. Whatever the serious accident was exactly, it's clearly captured Iris's imagination. It's an unfortunate business. A large explosion engulfed the public experimentation stage and a man lost his life. A certain Mr. Odie Aspen, an inventor and a well-known figure in society. A large explosion? A man died? The man responsible for the experiment was Professor Albert Harebrain. He was detained immediately after the incident and is due to appear in court tomorrow. On the charge of murder. What? Murder? If you intend to take on his defense, you should hurry to meet him at the prison. There is very little time left for you to carry out any kind of investigation. The Great Exhibition. A scientific experiment gone wrong. And... murder? I feel out of my depth before I even started. Still.
We should go to the prison straight away then and try to meet with this German professor, don't you think? Definitely.
Ah yes, one more thing about the case. There's a connection with our mutual acquaintance, the Reaper. Oh, Lord Van Zykes? How? Fortunately, Lord Van Zykes emerged from the attack unscathed. Street ruffians are no match for that man. He's a very capable fighter, even with bottles of wine. But that's incredible. They were armed with guns. Why was he attacked, though? Do we know? It's related to events that occurred a month ago. A leader of some of the capital's criminal organizations was indicted and prosecuted by Van Zykes. But the man was acquitted. I've no doubt large sums of money were involved behind the scenes. Large sums of money? How much money? A deplorable situation. Members of the jury were bribed, as it seems. However, despite winning his freedom, the man in question met a dramatic end yesterday. But you're not suggesting that was the work of the Reaper, surely? Don't call me Shirley. The victim's henchmen certainly seem to think so. He was a man by the name of Asman. Mr. Odie Asman. Did you say Asman?
That's the man who died in the big explosion at the Great Exhibition!
Yes, known publicly as an investor, but in reality the head of a significant criminal organization. Unbelievable. I wonder, could I ask you something, Lord Strongheart? Try me. Why do you use Lord Van Zykes as a prosecutor? All the criminals who manage to get off in court then meet with mysterious ends outside the courtroom, and fearful of that fate, they seek to strike Lord Van Zykes first. I know there's no evidence that he actually is the Reaper in that sense, but still, something's clearly going on here. I have Van Zykes work for the prosecution service for two reasons. Firstly, the man is the best damn prosecutor in the capital, bar none. And secondly, he hates the Japanese, and fuck you guys! Any deaths of criminals that have occurred outside the courtroom following his trials are nothing to do with him. I kill them!
But that doesn't make sense. How can you explain the way so many have died if not by someone's hand?
Van Zykes may have earned himself the moniker of the Reaper, but he is no killer. So we will continue to prosecute on behalf of the Crown. Unless he wishes otherwise, of course.
So anyway, about the symposium.
All sorts of conferences have been taking place around the world to coincide with the Great Exhibition. And next month, the largest and most important of them will take place at last. The International Forensic Science Symposium. It seems as though criminal investigation needs to embrace scientific methods, does it? Yes! We're tired of just finding people we don't like and sending them to court. Exactly. London, the global epicenter of culture, science, and wealth, now has a population exceeding 6 million. Sadly, crime in the capital is growing at a similarly startling rate. So it's imperative that we use the latest scientific methods to investigate and resolve cases as efficiently as possible. Which is known. Which is what's known as forensic science, isn't it? Exactly. The future of policing. Iris, calm down. Regrettably, however, Britain is currently dragging its feet when it comes to the adoption of forensic methods. Oh dear, that's alarming. Exactly! It's extremely alarming! If I were Her Majesty's Attorney General, you can be sure the numbers of crimes committed and resolved in London would be very different to the current figures. And I can cite 12 solid arguments and 223 individual reasons to support my claim. Sorry? By way of apology for keeping you waiting earlier, I shall detail everyone now. What? Oh, how fascinating! Whoa, what's that voice? Oh, how fascinating! It all began 15 years ago. I was talking a lot. Ryunosuke passed out. Talking a lot. And more or less, and that more or less sums up my feelings on the matter. In the simplest of terms, of course. Essentially, to formally establish a forensic investigation division within Scotland Yard. Oh, and it looks like Harebrain has been sentenced to death. Sorry to keep you so long. That is my mission. Oh, right, yes, that's wonderful. Exactly. Wonderful is precisely what it will be. Iris isn't paying attention at all. She's got her nose in another book.
Oh, is it over? Did you learn anything useful?
I actually learned how to fall asleep standing. Is that useful? I actually drifted off for the most part. He's surprisingly ardent about forensic science. Well, I must be leaving for my next engagement. It's almost Christmas. I'm already 11 hours and 16 minutes late. My colleagues may be starting to fidget. 11 hours late? That's quite something. That meaning it already started when I arrived back here for this engagement with you. So lateness was inevitable. Time stops for no man. I'm sure it stopped for me during those 12 solid arguments and 223 reasons. Oh, yes! Where would I find Lord Van Zyke now? I presume he's back in his sepulcher. You know, his office. Right, I'll go and ask him about the attack in person. I want to get this straight from the horse's mouth. Away with you now. I'm leaving Professor Harebrain's defense entirely in your hands. Of course, yes. Thank you very much, my lord. I guess I'll go to his office now. Let's see what the vampire's office looks like. Oh boy. I'm seeing a painting of him over here.
Oh, so this is the legendary Reaper's office?
A whole cabinet full of hallowed chalices, 3 bottles of wine. It's all lining up. Yes, it appears so.
But it sends a chill down your spine, doesn't it? What an amazingly deathly atmosphere.
Oh, is that... That hooded figure, it was so still I hadn't noticed his or her presence. I wonder who it is. Sure, let's assume it's the Reaper. What are you doing here? Ah! I was right. Dance break! Alright, my arms got tired. He's as unwelcoming as I thought he'd be. Didn't you see the sign at the door? No Nipponese allowed! Actually, maybe even more so. Oh, I'm glad to see you're well. I am. So, who's the person over by the wall being punished for something or other? No punishment is taking place here. Oh. That's my apprentice. He's sitting there of his own free will. Free will? I didn't know you had an apprentice. It must be the same person who was pictured in the newspaper. He's very able in combat. A requisite skill for anyone under my tutelage. Are you referring to the attack on the Reaper that was reported in the papers? The Reaper? I'd be interested to know the Reaper's true identity myself. Assuming, that is, such a fabled fiend generally inhabits our great courtrooms. Wait, what? You don't know they're referring to you? Okay. Hey, how do you feel about this paper? Lord Van Zykes, about the article in this paper. Ah yes, it seems there was a reporter nearby when that little skirmish took place. I had no idea I had been photographed. It was careless of me. I had just enough time to put on my disguise and protect my hallowed visage.
It looks as though it was taken after people who had attacked you had run away, though.
Rest assured, the police have already apprehended every last one of them. But there's something else fighting along. There was someone else. That guy over there fighting alongside you, right? And I think it's the same man who's sitting over there as we speak, isn't it? As I mentioned already, he's my apprentice. Perhaps you could tell us a little more about him? No. Okay. He is in my tutelage to become a prosecutor. So as you could say, he's my apprentice, I suppose.
Oh, like you are early then, Rudo!
I don't remember taking an apprenticeship with a great detective. He's currently compiling a report on last night's attack. He's not moving at all, though. Like, he's not writing anything down or anything. What the hell? It looks like he's wearing some kind of mask? On Lord Strongheart's orders. Nobody knows the man's face, or indeed his identity. But why would you agree to take on such a clearly suspicious individual? Lord Strongheart orders again. He's not one for meaningless follies. There will be good reason for his actions. hope you're right. Okay, he's seriously not moving. Well, wait! Oh, shit! The task is complete? Good. In that case, you can collate all the briefs. Nice to meet you. That was weird. That was really strange, though. I never met the man before. I didn't know he existed, and yet... There are bats in your office! I just saw them! Why are these bats here? This place must smell like shit, Van Zykes. I'm judging you. Somehow it doesn't feel like our first encounter. Oh great, it's someone we met before. Wait a minute, what was the name of this case again? The returned soul? Return that stole! How much you guys want to bet that that's Kazuma? If we're gonna go ahead and slide everything into place here. They were already testing out teleportation, why not reanimation? Or Van Zykes just made him a vampire. Let's find out. Don't spoil it to me. I don't know. This is just a guess. But don't bother trying to converse with him. He says nothing to anybody from outside this office. Lord Strongheart has strictly forbidden it. Oh, I see. Why are you so interested in my apprentice anyway? Oh no, I mean... sorry, I didn't mean to... The way he stood there so casually, yet with that flawless posture. He's really attractive. It couldn't be. Lord Strongheart said that the assault last night was some sort of revenge attack? True, carried out by henchmen of Old Yasmin's criminal organization. The investigation met their arrest for imminent. Presumably some hope to kill me before that happened. Old Yasmin. He's always masqueraded as one of London's most powerful financiers, a global investor. But his enormous wealth came to him by underhanded means, via his criminal activities.
And he used that money to buy himself a verdict of not guilty when he found himself in court, didn't he? Being prosecuted by you, Mr. Reaper.
But the man got his comeuppance in the end. Yesterday, in fact, in extraordinary circumstances, it was a most unusual case of death. I know about that. It was a super high voltage instantaneous kinesis gone wrong. Mr. Aspen died when the demonstration on the public experimentation stage ended in an enormous explosion. Correct. My learned Nipponese friend. And you think I have some kind of divine ability to cause an accident like that to happen, do you? Well, no. It does seem a little far-fetched. If this man really is the fabled Reaper, then he has to be innocent of this particular death, at least.
It's strange how this worked out, isn't it, Runo? I mean, with what you talking to the professor's defense for the, with you what you
Iris, step away from the wine.
I mean, with you taking on the professor's defense for the trial tomorrow.
But you're going to be defending him. Oh yes, that's right. Although I barely know the man's name yet, to be honest. Albert Harebrain. That's right. Do you know him by any chance? Of course. He's a contemporary of mine. We were at university together.
You're... What?! I'd understood... I understood that Professor Harebrain was from Germany, though.
Yes, but he was a part-time student in Transylvania. Harebrain's from a respectable British family. After graduating from the University of London, he moved to Germany to carry out research, that's all.
So you were students together?
I was in the Faculty of Law, of course, and he in Science, so our paths were very close. But curiously, we got along, though I'd not met him since my university days. I certainly didn't expect our next encounter to take place in this form. And with you, of all people, representing him. Ugh. If I make it out of this office alive...
He's actually been charged with murder, it seems.
Yes, I know, because the prosecution will be handled by me.
By you? But you made it sound as though you and the professor had been friends.
We are friends, it's true.
But then why would you do this? If the Reaper is the prosecutor, there's nothing anyone can do to save him. He's doomed! What's Lord Van Sykes thinking? Yeah, so about him being doomed. What do you mean by what you said before? If you like to know the Reaper's true identity, does that mean...
I am a crown prosecutor and immortal like any other.
Doubt.
I'm no demigod.
But they've all died, haven't they? The people you've prosecuted, I mean. Whether or not the trial ended in a conviction or an acquittal.
Those I prosecute are the vilest wretches of our society. People who are without question do deserve to be found guilty. The world is a better place without them.
But that's not true of Mr. Natsume, for example. He wasn't a vile wretch at all. Nor was Jenny! In fact, she's ever so hard-working now.
I can't deny that since I encountered you, things have taken a turn. But the point is this. If any of those vile wretches that escaped justice subsequently died in mysterious circumstances, it was at the hands of their own kind. This was not my work. Lord Strongheart said the same. He believes you're not involved in any way.
But you were attacked by those ruffians because they believe it's true!
The fact is, since people started to call me the Reaper of the Bailey, the number of serious crimes in the capital has dropped substantially.
Oh!
It would appear that even the most hardened criminals can be made fearful for their lives.
Do you mean to say...
I mean to say that if my pseudonym serves a useful purpose, I adopt it gladly and with honor.
But it's putting you in danger. You could be killed.
If that is my fate, then let God decide. Oh, if I was not such a noble prosecutor. A noble, racist prosecutor.
Lord Van Sykes. That's bullshit, and you know it. I'm sorry, batshit.
Ah yes, there's something I've been meaning to ask you.
Oh, what's that?
That Nipponese man, is he faring well?
Sorry?
The one arrested twice in succession 6 months ago. With the stoop, and the mustache, and the jitters.
Mr. Natsume, you mean? I'm not sure he'd be very pleased to find out you identified him from that list, Runo. He's fine, thank you. In fact, I received a letter from him by international post only the other day.
I see. Damn, I missed him.
Is he faring well? Because I haven't been able to find him. Exactly, fashion.
Well, I think we can end our discussion here, don't you? There's little time left before tomorrow's trial. I advise you to spend it investigating the case. Yes, and thank you for the advice and for the conversation. I can't believe he's asking after Saseki-san. After a Nipponese. I'm not sure whether to feel happy about that or worried.
I never imagined that Mr. Reaper would be friends with a mad scientist, did you? That's a turn-up for the books! My books! In magazines! I'm selling this story, Reaper, and you can't stop me!
A mad scientist? You mean Professor Harebrain? Yes, it might be worth quizzing the professor about his relationship with Lord Van Sykes, I think. Intense. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm not leaving before I inspect some of this stuff. Look at that fine collection of hallowed chalices and bottles neatly lined up there. My hallowed bottles are filled with the essence of the finest grapes and the finest vineyards I visit. And I personally oversee these chalices being made by the finest crystal craftsmen in the world.
And yet you throw them around in court like they were worthless!
Yes, because this imbecile is so unimaginably and irrepeatedly wide of the mark sometimes.
Oh!
Before you open your mouth next time, you should consider the poor artisans who've worked you the file. So it's my fault? Silly me. I could never thought otherwise. It really looks like a punishment to me.
I've never seen someone sitting like that before!
He hasn't moved a muscle since we arrived. Do you think perhaps he's dead?
If he was dead, Ryuno, he wouldn't be sitting up, would he?
Rigor mortis is a hell of a thing. Well, anyway, dead or alive, he's not overly approachable, is he? I don't think he's going to talk to us.
He's not dead!
Oh, we can inspect. Oh, Jesus! Ah! They were bats!
Yes, the Reaper's familiars, I expect.
What about the mute man in the dark cloak? I thought he was the familiar. Just not the flying kind.
He must be a dear friend of Mr. Reaper, then!
I think the familiar idea is more likely. Scary, though, either way. Alright. The painting. Though I guess it's weird that he has a mop-up of the X. Wait a minute, it's a mock-up! We don't get this kind of shit at the Defense Council.
Oh, look, it's a scale model of the Great Exhibition Showground!
It's amazing. I wonder why it's here.
Perhaps he made it to take his mind off the sadness of being too busy to attend in person?
Or perhaps he's too embarrassed to queue up for a ticket. Surely it's obvious that I'm using it as an investigative aid.
Ah!
You Nipponese have no business painting others as overly reserved. Ugh, I really didn't think he'd overhear that. I am 2 feet away from you! That portrait really dominates the room, doesn't it? Oh, I'm too sexy for my shirt. Too sexy for my shirt. I'm sexy, it hurts. I'm too sexy for my smock. Too sexy for my smock. It's a very majestic outfit and pose, but sadly, whoever painted it didn't do a very good job of capturing Lord Van Sykes' facial features.
Yes, you're right. I mean, it's not far off, but the artist has exaggerated his subject's handsomeness, I think.
Ah, that reminds me. I heard Emperor Napoleon of France ordered artists to make him look more attractive when they painted him.
How vain! It's really not an attractive quality in a person, is it?
That portrait does not depict me. Surely that's immediately obvious. Oh, then who is it? Is it your dad? Is it your lover? I have thoughts. And of course there's a chessboard next to the desk. Don't cut yourself on your Edgeworth. Lord Van Zyke's desk. Look, it's so stylish.
And there's a marble chess set beside it.
Chess. That's the Western version of our Japanese shogi game, isn't it? You know, I'm actually quite good at shogi problems.
Oh, really? You probably like chess problems in that case.
I'd love to challenge Lord Van Zyke sometime. To a bout of shogi problems.
If you only really want to challenge yourself, you can always do that on your own at home.
Alright, we're leaving. Bye, bitch! The warden said cell 11. That's this one. Oh, wait, he already had a voice. Crap, and I forgot what it sounded like. I skipped over what she said.
Oh, there's someone curled up in a ball in the back corner, look!
What's his name again? Professor Albert Harebrain, wasn't it? Excuse me? Professor Harebrain? Who are you? That's just my voice. I'm trying to remember what he sounded like in the cutscene. Very excitable, higher pitch. I feel like every time I try to do that, I go nasally. And then just end up sounding like this. But without the accent. Who are you? Sure, we'll go with that. Who are you? I'm Ryunosuke Naruhodo. I'm a defense lawyer. A lawyer? Was it something I said? A lawyer, you say? Would you be here about the experiment? Are you going to defend my hypothesis? Your hypothesis? Sorry, I don't... Yesterday's demonstration! The demonstration was a magnificent demonstration was an out-and-out success by everyone's calculations. I'm getting close to Soseki here. But despite that, and no one listens. No lawyer believes in the science when it's explained. They all leave at a high velocity. A bald spot or just a crater? Now's probably not a good time to mention that your zeal made my concentration leave for a while too. You mentioned the demonstration yesterday.
The papers have called it a spectacular failure. After all, man died in the explosion, didn't he? Yes, you could interpret the results that way if you really wanted to. Well, I suppose in the strictest sense. The experiment was a failure. At the same time, it was a great success. You've lost me. I saw it with my own eyes, right there in front of me. Mr. Aspen was spontaneously disassembled. He just failed to be reassembled anywhere. Until then, everything was going exactly as my calculations predicted. At that point, he should have been beamed into the Crystal Tower by instantaneous kinesis. However, the machine exploded. Mr. Aspen, in fact, perished. Oh wait, the machine exploded and Mr. Aspen, in fact, perished. Yes, I can't deny that part of the experiment was a failure. So what you're really saying is the large explosion that killed Mr. Aspen was an accident, correct? But the bigwigs had you arrested on suspicion of murder. I was responsible for a man's death. That is the immutable truth here. And for that, I wish to be punished. At once. Punish me! Punish me! But... murder? Never in a million years. It was an accident. Simply an accident. I see. Early and I were talking this morning, you know. He said the situation would change completely depending on whether it was treated as an accident or murder. How exactly? Accident's a death penalty. Murder's life in prison. Well, if it really was an accident, then the professor's machine would be kept in protective custody.
On what grounds?
Ah, yes, it's newly established here in Britain. The Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act.
That one passed me by.
But if the case is treated as murder, then they'd say my machine was a murder weapon, and they'd be able to pore over it as much as they like. If they examine it in detail, they'll find out how it's made, and then they'll be able to copy my idea. My precious hypothesis will be stolen. The machine must be detected from at a cost. That's why it's imperative this whole incident is shown to have been an accident to tomorrow's trial.
Ah, I see now. So in short, there was a terrible accident at the Great Exhibition Showground yesterday.
Yes, or rather no, the devil's in the details, strictly speaking, but there was a terrible explosion.
Sounds the same to me.
You were demonstrating a super high voltage instantaneous kinesis, weren't you? How fascinating! Humans, like all matter, are made up to particles that are held together by electrical bonds. So it must be possible using sufficiently high voltage to break those bonds and beam the particles through space. That's it in a nutshell. That's my idea, you see? That's my amazing hypothesis!
Gosh, that's unimaginably high-level science.
Oh, but dare you imagine it? Dare you dream of such incredible technology? Just think, one moment I could be here in this cell, and the next, I could be at the Great Exhibition again.
Well, yes, that would be incredible.
And the next, in the mere blink of an eye, I could be at a great Parisian theater, say. The possibilities are endless. The whole of our vast planet would be within reach.
So no more hiding in wardrobes on rocky seas for 50 days?
I don't really see it like that.
What do you mean, Iris?
Well, if you travel anywhere in the world instantly, the planet wouldn't really seem very...
Sorry, you got me so bored.
The planet wouldn't seem very vast anymore, would it? I think it would feel like it had shrunk. My word, that's exactly right.
What are the implications? What does this mean?
Oops, that's got Professor Harebrain really worried by the look of it.
Well, this is yet another case of just because you can doesn't mean you should, I suppose.
But I have ideas for dinosaurs and a theme park. The point is, my calculations are flawless. The science works. Without a practical demonstration, it means nothing. And that's always the fly in the ointment. Because practical demonstrations cut a loss to money that young scientists like you don't have. That's exactly it, yes. Hurley's always complaining about it. He says the government should invest more in science. Well, anyway, I bumped into him right at the right time. I met the well-known investor, Mr. Asman.
The victim who died in yesterday's terrible accident, you mean? The full name of the man who died in yesterday's accident is Mr. Odie Asman, wasn't it? What exactly was your relationship with the man?
He first visited me in my laboratory in Germany a year ago now. He said he wanted to invest in my immaculate hypothesis. I thank my lucky stars!
I see, so you hadn't really known each other until then. Wait, hold on. Pull that back up. I'll get to you in a sec. A year ago. When did he get acquitted? Because this is sounding more and more like he just wanted a way to slip off the radar.
Money for scientific research, I'm so envious! As far as I was concerned, the man was an angel.
Yeah. Oh, really?
An archangel, even. He was prepared to fund a practical demonstration of my hypothesis for a presentation at the Great Exhibition. And if that went well, I could expect additional financial support for my research from the British government. Mr. Asman provided me with money and an exceptional engineer. He produced the machine to my precise specifications. But then your dreams were blown to dust in one enormous explosion. As you can see, I owed everything to Mr. Asman. I would never, ever have thought of taking LeBear's life. Oh, it seems genuine. He seems genuine enough. I don't think he's lying. So let's talk about your time with the Reaper. I understand Lord Van Zykes is a friend of yours from your university days? Yes, that's right. He was studying law while I was studying science. What was he like back then? Good question. Unassuming, gentlemanly, all-around nice fellow, really. Sorry, I think you misheard me. I'm talking about the cold-hearted, merciless prosecutor, Barrack Van Zykes. What was he like when he was at university? Talk about a leading question, Runo. As I said, an unassuming and extremely pleasant gentleman. After all, he was the little darling of the Van Zykes family, well, with all its great aristocratic origins. I didn't realize he had quite such noble blood. Little darling? It was a little of a shock when I came back to Britain and learned what he'd become. The Reaper of the Bailey, no less. Yes, that's right. I did hear, though, that there was a very big event in his life that completely changed him after graduation. Really? What sort of event? Yeah! I'm sorry, but I don't know anymore. I wasn't in the country at the time. I was in Germany already. Oh, yes, of course. If he's heard about all about the Reaper, I really don't have the heart to tell him that Lord Van Zykes will be the prosecutor in court tomorrow. So, Professor, let me just make absolutely sure I've understood you properly. The huge explosion that occurred yesterday, that was an accident, you're saying? You had no intent to harm the victim, who is in fact the sole investor in your work, is that correct? As correct as two squared is four, I swear it! Yes, it's true the man perished in the machine of my invention. So I know that I'm far from blameless in all this, but still! I've never used my discoveries, my inventions, to take a person's life, not in a centrillion years. I'm a man of science, that's all I know. You have to believe me, please. Do you believe me? Do you believe in my hypothesis? Science is the pursuit of truth, you know. I've always believed that. All my life. I'm afraid I don't know much about science, or your theories, but I do believe you. And I will fight to prove your innocence with all my might. That's the lawyer way! I'm a man of the law. It's all I know. You have to believe me, please. When I went to live in Germany after I graduated, I learned something very important. Nationality, class, lineage, none of that matters. As long as you try your hardest, you can achieve anything. Just not in Britain. Thank you for that, Professor. And thank you in advance for defending me tomorrow in court. Alright, Runo, he's a bit of a buzzkill. Let's go to the Great Exhibition now. Sorry? Well, that's where the incident happened, isn't it? Yes, I suppose that's true. Time to investigate at last. Yeah, so I'm getting really tired. It's cold. It's cold. I just want to kind of bundle up in a blanket. I can't. This game doesn't make my computer run hot enough to help warm up my room. Oh, Hewlett fan, thank you for the 2-month resub. Is Goku really that bad of a father? I mean, it makes for good joke fodder, but no, he's not. I'd go drag someone else in here for that, but they're all busy. The showgrounds are a little too big for my liking. We've been walking around in a dense crowds for 2 hours now, and I felt myself swooning 3 times. There's a lot of people here, aren't there? I've almost been charged on it 3 times, too.
Be careful, won't you, Iris? Don't let go of my hand. No, we haven't had any power outages. It's not nearly as bad as it was a year ago. It's just been cold and the ice has made it hard to get anywhere. We finally made it through the throngs, though, by the look of it. Here we are underneath the public experimentation stage where the explosion happened yesterday. Apparently there's a battle going on up there. What's that? I can hear voices from up on the stage. It sounds like an argument. Oh, hello, Jenny. And Tobias.
Right, have it with you this time. I'm warning you, I'll arrest you in a minute.
Oh, yeah? Oh my gosh, I have to do the fucking Cockney accent again. Shit. Let's see here.
Oh yeah? Go on then, Spectre. Give it a shot. You ain't got no evidence and you know it.
Wait, I know those voices. I can see them too.
You got a little cheeky mouth. No. That's not right. That's not Gregson. You got a little cheeky mouth on you, young lady. But a night in the cell will teach you some manners.
Just try it, I dare you. And if you want a bag of chips rammed down your throat. Yoo-hoo, Grexy, what are you doing up there?
Zoom. Yeah, it's you. Hey, you're here. You're here. Your ladyship. How are you, ladyship? I do hope you're well, your ladyship.
Does that make her 3 times a lady?
I'm not well at all. It's far too busy everywhere. I wanted to ride in a balloon, but there was a 3-hour queue.
Unbelievable. I'll go have a word with you at once, your ladyship. You'll be flying as high as a kite in no time, but once I pull some strings for you.
Why are we having this now? We've already...
I'm not even gonna do it. I don't know if Texas is expecting more grid problems. I just know that whatever happened last year did not get fixed. Because we're too darn independent. Individualism taken to a suicidal degree. Why are we just he was in the last case. I know it was a flashback, but this is ridiculous. Sorry, I was in my own thoughts.
What gives then? Don't tell me you're on this case.
Yes, I'm acting for the defense.
So we're here to investigate.
Dear me. Well, that's the situation, is it?
Is it really that troubling?
A measly 5 bob, is that all you got? You're a lawyer, ain't you? You can stand to carry a bit more copper in your pockets, Mr. Otto. What? Hey, that's my last bit of spending money, that is. You can have it back, but oh my god, every fucking line my voice changes because I can't nail this stupid accent. I need to start asking around the company, anyone got a good Cockney accent? I need you desperately. I don't care if you're a boy or a girl. Ugh. You can have it back, but I'll have to charge you for all the bother. 3 bob. And then I'm not, yeah, and here we go again. If you saw the last game, you know her.
What's your problem, Otto? Otto, I have to say Otto, because if I say Odo, I'm thinking of something else entirely. Diver, pickpocket, what's with all the name calling? Wait, you're hearing my inner monologue? You want a big bag of chips run down your throat and all, do ya? I thought you were proud to be a diver, Gina. You were just arguing with Inspector Gregson about it, weren't you? I assumed you'd been up to your usual tricks here at this showground. That ain't no way to talk to a lady, Otto. Half a year's a long time, people can change. I'm an apprentice now, learn to be a Scotland Yard detective. So you have to call me what everyone else does. It's Inspector Lestrade now. Hey, there we go. There's the Sherlock Holmes tie-in. Inspector? That badge is homemade, surely.
The inspector part isn't entirely accurate. No one calls her that. For what it's worth, anyway. Investigating is off the cards for all of us.
What's that supposed to mean?
Right, well, I'll be back up top. You hold the fort down here, alright?
Right, sir. Don't make me talk to her more. This raises a lot of questions. And I do not want to have that conversation with you about them. Oh boy. Alright, so here's my dilemma. I have a feeling we are nowhere near to be continued time. But I have really just ruined my throat with Gregson and Strongheart tonight. And on top of that, it's probably about 50 degrees in my room. How many conversation prompts are there? Shit, there's 3 of them. I'm going to commit what I would consider a cardinal sin and bank back the time I lost finishing the last case. Have pity on me, it's cold. So for once, I'm actually going to take advantage of the fact I can save at any time. So, I may not wait until next Thursday. I know I usually keep Mondays free, but it won't be too difficult for me to hop back on here and try and get to a better stopping point. But I can't do this anymore tonight. I have a feeling I'm going to be regretting it tomorrow. So, let me pull up that extra page. Ta-da! So, I will be back tomorrow, though, because Barth's voice is just mine, so I can be as loud as the hell I want. So, I will be back with more Skyrim tomorrow at the usual time. Let's see if there's anyone I can have us raid. That's my channel. Let's see, we've got Nick going back to more sleeping dogs. So let's go ahead, let's you know, it's tradition at this point. Let's go ahead and see what Nick's been up to. Raid Lenny Pator. So thank you all for understanding. I will be back here tomorrow. I hope everyone has a good and safe Thursday night. Gotta kill another 3 seconds of time. Does Marvel Poison have a Barth? No, I might end up commissioning one at this rate if I can get some nice intro card work with all of them. But everyone have a good night. Goodbye!